Welcome to Phriday Phaith. I'm Jay from Sorgy Stories. This has been a week. The last 2 weeks have been a week. And I'm awaiting potential results on what could finally be the breakthrough for my job search in our family. So please pray for that. And I feel like it's going to be a good, really good thing for our family. And in the midst of that search and that discernment for me, a friend here in Philadelphia called me Thursday, checked up on me with this employment search I've been going through and how it's affected us. The conversation became a fire hose of blessings. It was just this constant stream of joy and hope and inspiration she was giving me that was coming out of the blue. She saw some pathways for me for my life and for the difference that I could be called to make here in Philadelphia, including even being a teacher. Perhaps as a career, but maybe in a different way than the traditional classroom. I'm going to need to take some time to interpret that and see where God may call me with that. It's a seed that needs watering. That's a whole other subject for another Phriday Phaith, perhaps. But specifically here, it happened on a Wednesday afternoon in hazy, smoky Philadelphia, where Mother Nature was trying to cook cheesesteaks in a smoker instead of the traditional way. But I had a long perceived to-do list that I'm still working on today. But she stopped me in my tracks and said 2 key words amongst this amazing blessing of words that became an avalanche of a blessing. 2 words especially stood out. Receive mode. She told me that someone close to her challenged her on her own pathway, her own life journey, to allow herself to receive, to rest, to take in what she needs in order to be filled and give from that abundance. What I loved about the way she communicated that to me was how that process of being in receive mode doesn't need to be selfish. It doesn't need to be self-centered. It's about being self-present, the way that she's incredibly present to those whom she loves within her life. She said those same words to me. And it's the way that I want to give, ways that I haven't been able to give here in Philadelphia yet because of the circumstances of my life, of my previous job, and what we needed just to get settled here. But to give like that, you need to be fed and empowered yourself. She even told me today that she needed to stop to be literally fed because she hadn't eaten all day. So she's going to go grab a sandwich. Well, Philadelphia's got a whole bunch of great cheesesteak spots. You can find some of them in this corner up here. I think she even has a different one that she wants to go to. We may journey there. But back to the greater point here. You and I need to be fed in order to feed others, in order to love others. We need to be able to receive in order to be empowered to give. And right now in this mode of my life at this moment, I need to be in receive mode. Receive mode. Wouldn't you know it? This Sunday, in churches all over the world, we celebrate the body and blood of Jesus, the Eucharist, communion, where God says, stop, take a break, spend some time with me, and let me literally feed you. The different Christian beliefs speak of different ways to understand what communion and Eucharist are. To some, the sharing of bread and wine is symbolic. In our Catholic faith that we celebrate in our family, it's literal. It's the real thing. No, you don't see bread and wine literally turn into like a human body part and into blood. But it's Jesus transubstantiated into those things. You can't literally see it. It's an act of faith to believe that, just like believing in Christ himself as God is an act of faith. That as you'll hear in the Gospel of St. John this weekend, in churches, millions of churches around the world, I am the living bread that came down from heaven. Whoever eats this bread will live forever. And the bread that I will give is my flesh for the life of the world. It's like God saying, hang on a minute, take a break, take a breath, rest, and receive me in every way. Receive me in where you find me every day, obviously, in every possible way you can conceive and beyond, like we've talked so much about here, finding God in all things, the words of St. Ignatius. But in this very special personal act, take me literally inside you. Let me fill you. Let me, broken, find your brokenness and be there for you, heal you, and love you. We may not think we're worthy to receive. There's that line in the Mass that talks about that. But God says, so what? I love you. Take rest. Let me be present within you. Just like you're being self-present in this process. Be rejuvenated and fed in the ultimate way. Receive me and let me fuel you to move forward, to be givers, to be lovers of this world. As that same gospel says, just as the living Father sent me and I have life because of the Father, so also the one who feeds on me will have life because of me. To be truly alive, to love, to, just as Jesus told Peter, do you love me? Feed my sheep. And that loving others, feeding our fellow humans with love, spirit, compassion, kindness, presence, empathy, all those things. That's being bread for the world. And that's the greatest response back that we could ever give God. It's greater than any song we can sing, any hands of praise we can lift. It's better than all of it. Jesus said it himself. We can decide we can truly be feeders, givers, lovers of this world. Because so often, we decide to choose to be in receive mode. Let's be that literally as we move forward in our lives. And let's do that for ourselves and for each other. Be in receive mode so that we can give. This all reminds me of the lyrics of one of my favorite songs, Dead of the Night by the artist Sean Colvin. A bead of sweat runs down my arm and I drink it from my skin. It is the most real thing that I feel. It is communion. Bless the meek, heal the sick, protect the weak in the dead of the night. It is communion. God is love. Let's be love. Have a great week.